この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for another episode of Odd Taxi. We're on Odd Taxi episode 6 and a lot is going on and we saw a lot of little interesting things in the preview from the last episode into the next episode. So some of those things were Imai, the dude who won the lottery off of the numbers that Otokawa gave him, is going to get back in the car and we're going to have some kind of conversation, so that's interesting. We saw Otokawa at a club with like some champagne on ice and fully surrounded by baddies, by like club ladies. I don't know. Something weird going on there. We saw Kakihana taking out a huge loan. We already know that he took out a loan for just the first dinner date that he had, which is really sad and fucking awful. But we see him going back in and taking more. And some kind of heartfelt conversation with Shirakawa where she's wiping a tear from her eye. I don't know what any of that shit means, and more importantly, I don't know how it's all thematically gonna link together to make part of the story that's ongoing in Odd Taxi, because as it has been before, it is a pretty interesting weft and weave of individual lives meeting and interspersing and causing change to each other over the course of this world. So, because it's such a complicated web we have woven, I decided to take some of my time this morning as I was like prepping to do this episode and just write down all the characters that I can think of and like what is going on with them. I did take a couple of them. I was like, what's that fucking guy's name? And so I would look up their names, but otherwise this is all just off the top of my head. So we've got Otokawa, of course. Otokawa's right in the middle of everything. He's been the taxi driver for a bunch of these people. I don't know if he's directly involved with starting the conflicts and like stuff going on in the episode. Clearly he picked up and dropped off some girl who now is missing, and that's some kind of thing, but we don't really understand what's going on there exactly, but maybe it's weird. And the thing that makes me think that there's something really weird there is that Yamamoto is really interested in getting Otokawa's dash cam footage, as we saw last episode, which makes me think that he is somehow involved in the missing girl case, which in turn makes me think that the missing girl is one of the idols who was under his care, who may or may not have been swapped out with a different idol who was then forced to wear a mask to prevent people from recognizing them, right? Like, something weird's going on there. Kakihana went on the cringiest, most awful date, just total disinterest from the party sitting across the table from him, and he just kept lying about his income and how, oh, haha, I'm so wealthy, when he's not. He just isn't, and now he's playing a pretend game that's just not going to have a good end for him and really, 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 really sucks. Tanaka, oh, our gacha-loving boy, has a gun, is on the trail, fully wants to murder Otokawa as much as possible, still probably hasn't slept, is in a bad place, but got one of the idol girls to drop a phone off in Otokawa's car, giving him the details and the down low on Otokawa's location. So, I figure basically at any point in future, Tanaka can walk in the door and try to shoot Otokawa. Like, that's just constantly on our minds now as a potential outcome and potential problem and potential thing that throws everything for a loop. And that's pretty fucking cool. Dobu is involved with Shirakawa's drug trade somehow, is also involved with the missing girl, is also in a weird feud with this guy named Yano, who we haven't met yet, and the more we talk about him, the more I feel like Yano is the missing puzzle piece here. Like, we need to understand his game and understand what he's going for, or at least who he is, and I feel like a lot of things will click into place once we do. Shirakawa is the other half of that Dobu equation. She's been stealing meds from Goriki's clinic. Speaking of Goriki, he's thinking about closing the clinic because the meds don't line up. And he, I guess, is trying, I didn't really understand it last episode, but is trying to close the clinic so that things kind of blow over, partly in an unspoken way to protect her, which is really interesting. Imai won the lottery, of course. We don't know much about him beyond that. He is super obsessed with Mystery Kiss, but that's all we've really got. We still have not met Yano. Fuck. Kabasawa is on the hunt. put up a really stupid "I'm a vigilante now" video on YouTube that went hyper ultra viral, which is everything he really wanted, saying that he was gonna go track down Dobu and take out this violent criminal. So we'll see how that goes, my friend. The Daimons are corrupt, of course, we know that, and oh, I wrote Daimon's corrupt, and then on another line I wrote some history because there's something going on with Daimon's history with taxi drivers and some kind of like weird thing that they have going on there. I don't really know. And then we have Baba and Shibagaki, the members of Homo Sapiens, the comedy duo. Now, I got to admit something to you. I messed up in my head. For some weird reason, I thought that the giraffe guy, who is the cover shot photo for all of the audio dramas, was actually Baba. Like I messed that up in my head. I forgot that Baba is a donkey. He's an ass. And then of course Shibagaki is like a boar of some kind. But I thought that Nagashima, the giraffe, the one who sent in letters to Homo sapiens, was the member of Homo sapiens. So I just screwed that up in my head. But Baba has hit his like big break, which is to be on daytime food television, which fucking sucks. While he is the less funny and less like dedicated member of Homo sapiens, his career is kind of taking off, and we saw some elements of Shibagaki being like maybe a little bit miffed by that, but also just doing his own thing. Shibagaki strikes me as the character with like the coolest mindset of all of these characters, and I think that I like him, but we'll have to see if he even shows up in this episode. I don't know. And then of course there is Nagashima the giraffe, who we haven't really met, but I saw his name on Mal, so I know his name. And he's the one who's been sending in messages, and he's also the one who's been tracking the audio device, the pen. So that's pretty interesting. And these are all of the primary characters that I could think of. And I think you can tell if you've been watching the show along with me that as I go through this list, I'm listing like the top most obvious thing about each of these characters and how they fit into the story. But then there are like, for each one, there are like 2 or 3 other relationships or interconnections or bits of weirdness that make them more questionable and more harder to predict and more interesting and more kind of real and more human in a weird way. Because they're fucking weird anthropomorphic animals, right? But just writing all of this out and thinking about all these different moving parts of this weird machine that is Odd Taxi that seems to me to be churning towards some inevitability that I just can't predict is really interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the next step is and how all of these moving parts move in the next episode, and that's what we're going to watch today. So let's do that. I've got episode 6 of Odd Taxi up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions. Picture-in-picture version with the video up there will be available in the description. Timer-based version will be up on YouTube. If you want to do a sneaky thing and sync up your own copy of the episode with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. There will be a PiP timer coming at you. Also, there's early access on Patreon, so if you want the next week's episode a little bit early, it'll be up on the Patreon sometime the same day as this one goes live on YouTube. Cool? Cool. Beep timer. Let's get straight into episode 6 of Odd Taxi. Oh shit, I'm thirsty. Is that different? I don't think so. No, I'm messing with myself. Because I thought the ooh starts there or something. Okay, wait, that was different. That was only a minute. That was only a minute. It's a minute and a half for the OP. Unless I'm tripping balls. I'm sure that was only a minute. Let me hear you say what the hell. What the hell? Oh, hi. Imai? That's my name. My name is Driver. Yeah, you won the fucking lotto. So a minute of OP? What did we need those 30 seconds for, man? Yeah, he won like $9 million. Oh, right, the Flyers. Nah, the manager was just in here. Okay. It really isn't. I don't think he cares that much. Hontoni pulls gun out. Gimme. Sick. Yeah, don't tell people that, dude. You're way too trusting. Didn't you post a photo? Yeah. That's way more dangerous, dude. Have you claimed and put it in a bank account? That was an effect. There was something weird there. Yeah, what the fuck? He hasn't... I mean, if we needed a glowing briefcase, we've got it now. He's just carrying a winning lottery ticket around. Oh, no. Nope. I'm driving. All right. Yeah, no, we take those. For sure. Oh. Oh. There we go. I hate places like this so much. False social relationships based on money are the weirdest thing in my... I can't. I cannot. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's just like, I feel fucking weird. Please. I'm not enjoying myself, though. I'm just not. No. Cocky, please. Oh man, he's just gonna bankrupt himself. So we get this weird contrast between somebody who doesn't want the moolah and somebody who desperately wants the moolah. Oh, that... Whoa. Yeah, maybe... What? What? Holy shit. I said he could walk in at any time. And there he is. Ha! The fucking sick mask. And he is fully that dirty and that grimy right now. Ooh. Where is he? I want my dodo bird. Holy shit. The music has been so lit in this episode, dude. It's been so good. It's him. They... Oh my god, Shibagaki, do not get killed here. Do fucking not. He's gonna run. Yeah. Thank you, Shibagaki. Please don't die. That's what we call dedication. Doing it for the gram. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is she outside of his house? And who texted "Don't ever get involved with me ever again"? Wow. And blew it through his window as well. May have gotten the phone back. I don't know. Hi. Hello. He told her. Got it. Fuck. Why, you got something to hide? We're not gonna find out because we're talking outside the house. Fuck. Huh? Uh-uh. Oh, broken windows thing. Yeah. It doesn't even really apply to windows. I'm just keeping an eye out for... No, that's not Kuroda. Is it because of his conversation with Goriki? Yeah, let's go. All right, sure. Oh, what? Yeah, wait, what? Whoa. Holy shit. Harsh but fair. Okay. Okay. Maybe don't. Yeah, but the guilt will eat her up. Sure. So that convo was that. Okay. Yeah, but I really did start to... There. That's the fucking question. That's out of nowhere. Oh, that's not out of nowhere. Needs a taxi driver he can trust. I think he also thinks you'll just keep your head down. But we know because of the Imai thing that you don't care that much about money. That's actually pretty fucking simple. Good. Yeah, don't. Okay. Oh, you want to sting that? And you're telling her that? Ooh. What if you just talk to Imai? Tell that to Kakihana. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Jesus, Otokawa is harsh as fuck. But he keeps hitting the nail on the head. Oh my god, what? I mean, it crossed my mind that she might say that, but what? Oh my goodness. What is this dialogue? That soul cutting. Soul cutting. Alright, who's in the fucking house? Nobody. Just Otokawa and his fucking weirdness. What a freaking conversation. Oh, he worked there. Eh. Because it doesn't matter. Woohoo. He tried. So once upon a time, there was this gacha game named Zuden. Taco loans, no! Man, an octopus is the greatest visual for a loan company, just with all their tentacles that you can never get away from. How they always grab you and drag you back in. Crazy. Okay, what? Hmm. So this is sort of a things we can't talk about in comedy anymore type of thing? Wow. Is he off playing pachinko now? Mm. Mm-hmm. Nagashima, yeah. Oh. Sad. Because he actually cares about his input, right? Missing again. Yeah. What? What? Ew. Later. That's not Otokawa's taxi, though, right? Yo. Nagashima. Nagashima! You should have said that sooner! You dingus! He would have recognized the name. Holding up a sign, I'm Nagashima! No. What? Motherfucker, that is not Dobu. How would you even... And so I'll sell it to the... Why you got candles going now? You're gonna burn your house down, dude. Wait, that you've what? Oh, Jesus, dog. I am God. Wow. I mean, yeah, I know you've become a scapegoat. No, you did not. Got him. Yeah. No. Yeah, he's not the kind of idiot who jumps up on a piano. You motherfucker. Weird. Maybe. Nope, just a bunch of weird circumstances, man. I actually can believe that. Oh. 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 Okay. Hmm. Dude, ask for more. I don't believe that for a second. Yeah, ask for more. Miho. Shirakawa. I believe him. He believes in his own sense of honor. Even if I don't, he believes in it. What? Yeah, don't you know where he lives? Holy shit, we were just insta in it. Uh. That's absurd, but I love it. Absolutely absurd, but I love it. Dude, it's a heist movie. What the fuck? No, he's got bad eyes. He's got night blindness, right? What was that about? Uh, thanks. Oh, let's just sweep that under. Yeah, it's because there isn't anything. It's just the media engine behind him. No, he doesn't. What the fuck does that mean? I don't think he does. A little bit of resentment, but welcome to media, baby. So this one's all about perceptions of other people, right? And perceptions of fame, wealth, power. Oh, N1. Yeah. Oh, you just fucking dunked your career, dude. Strike one at least. Ah! How do y'all know each other? Oh, fucking big break. She does not want to be. Yeah, she does not want to be outshone by you. Are y'all dating? Y'all be banging? Y'all be banging. Motherfuck. I don't think he gives a fuck. Oh, we are going ED-less, dude. We have a shortened OP and we're ED-less? What the fuck is happening? There's a lot packed into this episode. Of course you do. Functions as an insert song. That's cool. It's all taken, man. Giraffe? Throw rock. Talk about broken windows. That's full theme. Preview. Cute cops. Trick or treat. Okay, it's Halloween. Oh, Yano. Oh, Halloween stuff. Whoa, was that Kakihara? Oh no! Oh no, he didn't pay up. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And Yano symbolically washing his hands of something. Okay, this episode strikes me as all being about attitudes towards success and fame and fortune. We get Imai's attitude. We get Otokawa's attitude. We get this great contrast of having Kakihana looking at rings that he can't afford, while Otokawa is in a place where everything is paid for him, where people like really want to be. They want to be out there clubbing, and he is just super not having it, right? Like, what the fuck am I doing here? I said it during, but I full heart agree with that. The whole idea of relationships that are built around like the expenditure of finance is so creepy and weird to me. Like just to rephrase, like the inability to know who your friends are or whether these people like you for you or for your wallet. And then we get the reprieve, honestly, and that's the crazy thing about this whole scene. Otokawa is trying to run away and looking for an excuse to do so when the gun goes off, and Tanaka starts shooting up a place looking for him, and it gives him an excuse to get the fuck out of here. And it gives this weird situation a chance to happen, right? And we see a difference in attitude here, right? And it's something that I kind of want to highlight because I think it's really interesting. Um, 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 but give me a moment. So Shibagaki, and I'm actually gonna do like a weird contrast here, but I want you to think about how Kabasawa treats this situation when he's not involved at all versus how Shibagaki treats this situation when he's right in the middle of it, right? So Kabasawa, not involved at all, makes another viral video about his own pathway, right? I'm gonna hunt down Dobu. Dobu must have done this, blah, blah. I am a god. I've got 1 million followers, yada, yada, right? And makes another crazy viral video about it, using it to catapult him further into fame and fortune. Shibagaki does like half an interview on it with Baba and like does nothing with it, right? Now, if we had switched their situations, if Kabasawa was in that situation, if he was the one getting shot at, he would go so fucking hard on using that situation to catapult himself further into fame. There's this attitude difference in terms of like how you take your actual life occurrences and spin them into content and spin them into stuff that you can sell between these characters. And I think it's part of what this episode does in creating this contrast of two separate sort of groups of people in the way that they view money, success, fame, fortune, etc. And it's not a clean divide where it's like the people who are successful are the ones who don't care about it and the people who aren't do, right? Like Imai is somewhere in the middle. He's got the money now, but he's still going to his work as a cabaret waiter, right? Like he hasn't quit his jobs. He also hasn't cashed his fucking lotto ticket, which means that there is a winning lottery ticket floating around that he has not cashed yet, and doesn't have any legal protections for, right? He has the proof that he got the ticket from the photo, but that's it. So that's a little scary because anybody can walk up to him and try to steal that shit, as far as I know. But then we've got Kabasawa, whose type of like fame and fortune is just fame. He just wants the virality, and he's doing stupid shit to get it. But he also believes and has spread across the world the idea that this guy in the skull mask is Teeaboo, and now Teeaboo is going to dress up as the guy in the skull mask during Halloween in order to find him, which is crazy. So he is totally going to be found, I'm positive, to some extent, either by Kabasawa or by just some random viewer of his. I have no idea. Super interesting. Otokawa's whole attitude toward the money is fascinating, both in his conversation with Imai and in the way that he talks through with Teeaboo. Really interesting. And is there anything you need the money for? Maybe your family or someone you care about is in trouble, and he thinks of Shirakawa, of course, because he does care about her no matter what he says. Can we talk about the music during red light sequence? Just so understated until we get in there, right? It's so perfect. It's so perfect. Not necessarily like it's an amazingly good track or anything like that, but for setting this scene, it's perfect. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And the way that we get to shock and change things up as he's looking at this emotional moment into gunshot. And it's building up. Music ends into new track. Way more confusing and way more Hotline Miami. Oh my god, so much of the soundtrack reminds me of Hotline Miami. I hadn't put it together until this moment. This shit. This sounds like Hotline Miami. Because it is. It's the same idea. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, I'm sorry. I just didn't know. And we get ushered out of here. But Shibagaki cannot help himself from making jokes about this whole situation. And then he sees his life flash before his eyes as he gets shot. And he says, I thought it would be funny if I got shot. And we respond with, you're fucking crazy, dude. I'm so interested in that. I don't know exactly how to read it, but I'm so interested in that. Okay, this is really sad. Yeah, this is what he said, and he's trying to keep her from going in. We showed this angle on his closet area again, like he's got something to hide, but we don't know if he actually has something to hide or if he's just fucking crazy, right? Like, again, we don't know what Otokawa's deal is. We don't know if he really has a secret, a skeleton hidden in his closet. There might literally be a skeleton in Otokawa's closet. He might actually be the baddest bad guy of everybody that we've met. But maybe not. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Okay, so they didn't take anything, but I think they did. I think that Tanaka took his phone back, right? I think that he took the phone that he was using as a locator back from the taxi. So that's interesting. And then, yeah, leaving something broken makes people break it further, the broken windows theory. Just to note, the broken windows theory has been mostly disproven. The idea of the broken windows theory, as she says, leaving something broken makes people break it further, was an idea of social psychology in neighborhoods, where the idea was if you go into a neighborhood and you see that there are like homes with broken windows or stores with broken windows, or similarly like graffiti on places, or places are run down, or you see evidence of violence, evidence of crime, evidence of like unpunished and unfixed things, then that's going to make individuals more likely to think that they can get away with stuff and to think that it's like the norm socially to do criminal activity in that area. And it sort of makes a kind of sense when you think about it, when you put it that way. But the policies that could get put in place against broken windows theory often have a counter effect and are, I don't know, often rather brutal and lead to a lot of bad shit. So I don't fully know if we should agree with the theory, but it works in this conversation, and it's a weird thing to metaphorically put it to broken hearts, where she's basically saying because I'm heartbroken, it's like it's okay for you feel like it's okay to break my heart again, which is harsh. This whole conversation, to be fair, ultra harsh. Um, yeah, the way that you think you might be able to salvage the situation is obnoxious. I was a little, no, I was really happy, and now I'm ashamed of myself. So he feels like he's been baited and outsmarted, right? He feels like you've been using me, and I just want nothing to do with it. I just want to cut you off. Just to fucking stop. You're hurting Goriki. And goes so far as to do the whole don't use your feminine wiles. Don't you dare cry. I won't listen to it if you do. And she decides to fully open up, which I think is the most like mature way of dealing with this situation by far, is just cut to radical honesty. Of course, we as viewers cannot confirm everything that she says. We don't know that she's being completely honest, but we can assume that she is because she seems to be. And it all sort of lines up. So, Dobu-san and I used to date. The honorific san is interesting that she uses that continuously. And that's a full left field out of the blue new one, where she's going like, it's true what you might suspect. We used to be dating. It's like, shit, I didn't even want to know that. Okay, cool. We'll start there. I couldn't say no to him because of the money. Right, it was for about 4 years. I couldn't say no to him because of the money. So clearly already we've got a financial power dynamic in the relationship, which I guess is another theme of the episode, is like power dynamics and just dynamics of success in relationships. Works for Baba and Shibagaki if you want it to. It works in Kakihana's weird relationship that he's going for. Yeah, okay, that kind of works, I suppose. It also works when we start looking at Otokawa and Dobu a little bit later, where like Dobu kind of has all the cards there, and Otokawa is kind of forced into this. But he's able to eke out some deals with Dobu that he may or may not hold up. But I believe that he will. Regardless, I couldn't say no to him because the money is immediately a red flag about a relationship. Like, oh shit. Okay. I'm not listening to you if you're going to cry. Ultra harsh. And to be fair, Otokawa's being kind of a dick here, right? But he's being a dick because he's been hurt. And so it tracks as human behavior to be like, I'm not listening to you if you're going to cry. Fucking fuck off, man. I can't. He also, he feels like he's been tricked before, right? And he knows that he's in the weirdest way for such a thick-skinned creature. He's emotionally vulnerable toward her, right? He wants to believe her. He wants to care about her. And so he's trying to put up these walls to prevent himself from getting hurt further. It's very human and very, like, very real. And I think it's fantastic writing. Please wait, I get it. And she cuts him off and just goes hard for the radical honesty further. I borrowed a large amount of money, so I was paying him back little bit by little, but it wasn't enough, so I stole the meds. And we see her head drop, so we know. And she starts going, I'll tell the police. No, Goriki is already covering for you. Why would you do that? Well, because of the guilt. Why approach me? And the answer is Dobu basically told me to. Turning personal information to profit, and then finding a taxi driver, which cues into one of his other plans. You're a grumpy taxi driver, and he told me to get close to you, so I did, but then I also began to fall right. So this is the hardest fucking bullshit. Pretty common in movies, common in spy movies, common in crime films, sort of relationship dynamic where we've got a character who's investigating some other character or is otherwise trying to buddy up with them for an ulterior motive, who then falls for them legitimately. And when that comes out that you only started to get to know me because of XYZ, well, I feel betrayed now for obvious and legitimate reasons, because what I felt was a serendipitous start to a cool relationship is a hard no. This is fucking rough, man. It's fucking rough. I don't know what to think about it. I believe her. Now, maybe that's just me wanting to believe her because I like her, right? In the same way that Otokawa probably wants to believe her because he likes her, but it feels real to me. And so he cuts her off. Spare me. Oof. So what's his actual goal? Rob a bank, needs a taxi, getaway car. Must think I'm a sucker. Yeah. But partway through, I had no intention of turning you over to him. I don't care what else. That's it. That's all of it. All right. Cool. Don't tell him. Maybe I'll even pretend to help him rob a bank. Very interesting. And she still owes 3 million yen. And of course, the principal never goes down. And you fucked up. And he's actually a weak man. I couldn't just leave him. Yeah, so he actually needs me, right? If I leave him, where will he be? Is core codependence. And that's exactly what he calls out there. But it's also like, it's codependence with a sprinkling side of like financial disparity of debt-based relationship where she owes him money and is with him because of that. And also like some weird shit, right? Clearly this is not this is super abusive, but also deeply codependent. So gross. I couldn't care less. Yep. I told you nothing but the truth today. I really want to pay off my debt and leave. I'll apologize to Dr. Koriki because I love you. And that was an out-of-the-blue statement. And he hits her back with the coldest of cold shoulders. Don't ever get involved with me again. This whole conversation, the back and forth, the way the characters interrupt each other, the timing of it all, the flow of it all is so deeply, like, realist in its nature. Characters in TV shows don't really talk like this. People in real life, like, how do I put this? Characters in TV shows almost never talk the way that people talk. People talk in weird ways. And if you actually ever like really listen to the way that people converse, or that like families or relationships or couples converse with each other, especially when they're arguing, especially when there's like something off, a lot of the time the conversation doesn't make any fucking sense. But also a lot of the time it's not, there's no back and forth. There's no you say something, I say something, you say something, I say something. There's a lot of cutting each other off. There's a lot of like forcing through a point. There's a lot of this kind of cold shouldering. There's a lot of this kind of like desperate attempts to try to like hook you on some statement that makes you snap out of whatever you're in right now. There's a lot of conversation that doesn't really like, that isn't written out or planned out. And so when you plan out conversations, it's very hard to make them feel naturalistic, especially when they're emotionally charged conversations. This is a deeply emotionally charged conversation on both sides where like my impression of it, my interpretation of it is that both of these characters care about each other. And we see that elsewhere in Otokawa, right? He cares about her and he knows that it's dangerous for him to care about her. And so he's trying to not express that and trying to not show weakness in front of her in a way that's almost toxic, that's almost hurtful. maybe more than almost hurtful. That is hurtful. And she's trying desperately to open up and do something that she hasn't done before. The whole flow of the conversation is absolutely fantastic writing and delivery and voice acting and put togetherness, and it's just really, really stellar. And these conversations are the thing that, despite the whole web of interesting intrigue that's going on in Odd Taxi, despite all of the cool characters and all of the things, it's the interactions between individual characters that just shine like a beacon through this show and are absolutely entrancing to me, because they feel like interactions between real people, like real interactions, and that's super interesting. Okay, so he lays here, I'm tired, can't sleep, and we hard cut to the middle. Cool. Second half of the episode is weirder. So we have this conversation, Shibagaki getting messed up, and he's kind of just like, well, I don't really care. He doesn't really like care. He does this conversation. Are you okay? I saw a little online news story, right? Like, Shibagaki's not championing his own cause. If he were more, maybe even more modern minded in terms of creating a following and creating, like, working in a creative space, the way that we know that Kabasawa is, he would immediately be fucking book some interviews, book some TV shows, get on Ellen, have a like talk in a bunch of places about your situation, and on every single one of them, plug your show, plug Homo Sapiens, plug all the crazy shit you get into. Write a book, have a book ghost written for you, plug the book, turn this particular moment where you get attacked, right, where somebody holds a gun to you, into a series of motivational speaking appointments, and make a career off of it, right? Like, careers have been made off of less in the real world by far, but it shows his attitude toward these things. This was just a weird fucking thing that happened to him, and he kind of brushes it off. And the show that he's in kind of brushes it off. They have this bit of a conversation. You're the one who says we always throw ourselves into trouble for the sake of interesting stories. What have you been up to this past week? And we just move along past it. Young guys who have just tasted that success always brag about it, right? I've been shooting my drama. I think some details have been released. Plus my regular TV appearances, so I haven't slept much. Got it. Oh, and Kakihana, also tasting that success, maybe pulls out another loan, probably before he paid back his first one. Crazy. And then we get into kind of a conversation. It makes me think, I know that Carlin has had some bits about this, but kind of a George Carlin-esque bit about, like, oh, all the things you can't say anymore as a comedian. They're the real comedy where you're talking about, like, the failures of other people or being hurtful to make more people laugh, or like really ragging on somebody for comic effect, it's not allowed anymore. People don't like that shit anymore. It's kind of it's a weird conversation. It's an interesting conversation. When we were kids, we laughed until the very core of our bodies were numb at words prickling with sharp edges. I love this line. I think it's really cool. But now comedy is all teens dancing on the internet, right? It's like, well, that's weird. Where did the real comedy go? Well, humor evolves, but there are some more complicated social elements to it for sure. I don't know. What about that guy? Right. What about what's his face? The giraffe guy. Um yeah, interesting. I don't know. So, yeah, you've changed recently, but she doesn't elaborate. We walk out of the studio, and there is a whole crowd there for Baba. And it feels like shit. It feels like shit. It feels like he hasn't earned this shit because he's not that funny. And yet, he's got the daytime TV show, man. He's got all these things. And it feels like there's a kind of a media engine brewing behind him to catapult him to stardom, because he's bland and uninteresting comparatively. We got Shibagaki, who fucking works his ass off, who has all these interesting things happen to him, who has these interesting conversations, who has this interesting outlook on life. And it's his partner, the sort of bland ass, funny, like straight guy to the funny man, Baba, who is getting it, who's getting up there. Crazy, crazy. So then he shows up. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And he doesn't tell him, well, I'm Nagashima. Shit. Fuck. That's my name. Ah. Darn. Okay. So, of course, this must be Dobu. I see Dobu everywhere. It must be. Yeah, it's got to be the Illuminati, dude. Don't even sweat it. There's no reason to fact check at all. There's no reason to be like, wait a sec, this guy's like skinny and has a small face under that mask. It must be Dobu. Who cares? He doesn't have a pointy head. Who cares? It must be Dobu. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this conversation is also very interesting. It's like, you're not afraid to die. He's trying to kill you. I need the gun back. Let's work together. And so they agree to work together, but we have to put another rider on it. Release Shirakawa, write off her debt, free her. And I believe, to an extent, I believe that Dobu will do this if he has agreed to it. If things don't play out in a way where Otokawa just gets dead anyway, right? Okay, so gotta find Kawasawa and gotta find the man with the gun in an absurd play in finding people in a crowd and like walking around in the same costume during Halloween. Crazy. And he says, there's something about this that is weird. Because we know that he doesn't have good eyes, right? We are genuinely aware from episode 1 that Otokawa has, I think, night blindness or like nearsightedness, something that affects his vision. And he says, I'll be fine. I'm good at finding people in a crowd. What, you've got good vision or something? And then he says, I find it surprising. What do you mean, why? If anything, I find it strange that you guys are so bad at it. All right, I gotta jump to a previous episode really quick, because there was another moment that was kind of like this that, like, that was weird. I don't know if it was this episode. It was. No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. Okay, it was. It was with, yeah. Won't always be available. You know the place. I drove a girl there. Okay, I just have to go from here so that I can find the line. Okay, here. So he says, I recognized one of the girls today. Well, it must have been one of the same girls. Girls that age, especially ones trying to be idols, all look the same to me. You said you recognize Shiho Ichimura. It must have been her. And then he says, she's a calico cat. The other girl was a little different. And he just gives this face. And it's a face that's like, what? So there's that. And then there's his ability to pick people out of a crowd. Which, to be fair, when we see a crowd of people in this world, for instance, the people walking by out here, right? It's very easy to pick different people out. Why? Because they are all different animals, right? So here's my crazy galaxy brain theory. What if they're not? What if they're not animals? What if that look on Yamamoto's face is like, why did he just call one of my idol girls a calico cat? What a strange thing to call a person. Because she's not actually a cat. And what if he can pick people out of a crowd so easily because he sees them all as different animals when they're not, when they're all just people? So everybody else is looking at a crowd of normal humans, and he sees a crowd of very different animals based on their physical features or their way of being, or he's got some superpower or some bullshit. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go like a 30% on that theory. I'm not convinced. But it kind of makes sense, right? Like, if you look at a crowd and there's only one hippo dude in the crowd, then you know it's Kabasawa. You're like, there he is. Easy peasy. Found him. But then if that's the case, why does he see himself as a walrus? I guess it kind of makes sense. Sort of thick-skinned and gruff and scrubby and stuff. I don't know if I believe it. Yeah, okay. So, regardless, Dobu and our boy are together. Yeah, gave him a ride once, saved our group photo, right? Haha, group photo. And we can do something about him, right? I'm good at vibes. It's such a weird line. Like they're talking past each other. Maybe 40%. I don't know, man. It's weird. Okay, so Homo Sapiens, Baba-sama. It would also answer some questions about, like, about this world and, like, how these deeply different species and stuff actually interact and can, like, breed and shit. Because we saw a fucking alligator dude in the park at one point, and that's not gonna fly with a mammalian creature. Like, it's not gonna happen. Unless he's not an alligator and he's just a person. Okay, been making lots of money. And we get this koala guy, who is with the fucking sweater around and the big thick rim like colored glasses. He is so producer. He is so producer. He almost is like a fucking caricature of a producer type, trying to push somebody to become the bomb, right? And he's being super backhanded throughout this conversation. There are guys who are loved despite being stupid. Bro, what? Fuck off. And he really genuinely can't compliment him. It's like he doesn't care whether Baba's actually any good. He just sees somebody who's gaining popularity and is like, oh, I can ride that wave. Let's push this guy up to the limit, up to the top, baby. Let's go. And he ends up calling it like, yeah, you've got good breeding. And he's genuinely worried about his partner. And he immediately goes from this look, yeah, not many people say they dislike you, to this look, in a sec, break up with him. Get the fuck out of there. Whoa. All right. What an interesting cutthroat viewpoint on that kind of stuff. And then just hands him another job. But he can't do it because that's round 3 of the N1. I could do it after. I've been working for it. And we get this look from him that's like, okay, well then. Interesting. But I don't think you understand, my man. You're not making yourself famous. I'm making you famous. You are nothing without me and what I can bring to bear for your career. And that's very scary. Again, a dynamic within a relationship with some weird power going on. And then we find out about this relationship. Baba is dating her, and I wonder if that's why they're catapulting him to success to some extent. But she does not want a boyfriend who's more famous than she is at all. She really wants to be the power player in that relationship, and that's pretty interesting too. You're moving up in the world step by step, and we'll get Budokan, which is a hell of a break, right? And she hits him with, nah, don't work that hard. Just be my stay-at-home husband, please. Stay-at-home boyfriend. You don't have to do shit. Get some tattoos and like maybe make a rap single that doesn't sell very well, and then we'll be dating and it'll be fine, right? Like that's all we need. And calls him horseface and shit. It's gross, man. It's actually kind of gross. Okay, so Yamamoto takes her out, and we get this conversation where Shibagaki is like, okay, cool, so we're gonna be doing the practice things for N1, and he's like, I fucking can't. I am super booked up. Which blows. It just blows. We also start EDing out into an in-episode insert song, which is pretty freaking cool. And yeah, welcome to your life. Sad. So sad. So sad. Ah, it hurts. It really hurts. Okay, so trick or treat, Halloween, a concert. Kakihana's gonna get the shit kicked out of him. Dobu's out there. So much is gonna happen in the next episode. I'm really excited for it. This episode was very interesting in terms of the number of pieces that moved in this episode, because so many of the pieces moved in situations where they changed the lines of other pieces. Specifically, Tanaka's move of going into the cabaret club alters for both Imai and for Shibagaki and for Otokawa, which is kind of crazy. That's all like a lot of impact from that one move. And then the whole Shirakawa, Dobu, Otokawa trifecta is all moving at the same time. And it looks like come next episode, we might meet Yano for the first time. And as I said, I feel like he's a key puzzle piece that is missing. Overall, I think this episode was stellar. It continues to have the quality of writing, especially the dialogue writing that has been absolutely carrying this show. Not that it needs it to be really fun and really interesting and really cool, but God, it is so good. It is so far beyond most of what we watch in terms of dialogue writing that it's genuinely mind-blowing. And then everything else in the show continues to be extremely interesting and extremely, complicated feeling. It feels like the machine is still whirring and churning toward its inevitable conclusion, and I don't know what that is still, and so I am fascinated still. And still DRE. I like this show. I know I've said it before. I'll say it more before we're done. It's interesting. Oh, I wrote down one thing. There's this moment at 2:45 where he moves forward, and I wanted to see what happens there. Was it there's a flary blur there. Okay, cool. So he goes lean, 1, 2, blur, back, and that's the whole thing. I caught that out of the corner of my eye. I was like, what happened there? But in context, it ends up being wha-bam. And it kind of works super well, and I like it a lot. Anyway, super simple. Just wanted to peek at that because I did write it down. All right, I forgot about the audio drama. I was gonna watch it, and then I forgot to watch it. So, solidly my bad. I fucked up. Let's watch audio drama 6.
皆さんこんばんは。先週の私の活躍により、再び発信機に動きがありました。
Cool.
なんと今回はすごいですよ。
Ooh.
出すとこ出したらマジスクープみたいな。
Ooh.
まあ、この再生数じゃ注目されないか。審議も怪しいしね。まあ、ネタ的に楽しんでください。
Sure.
どうぞ。
Ruitan and Baba Nyan. Baba Nyan is gross.
ああ、疲れた。めっちゃ飲むやのディレクター。何時や今。4時。今からすぐに寝ても4時間しか寝られへんやん。ずーっと寝てたいな。マックスまで寝たいな。毎日12時間寝てたあの頃が懐かしいな。寝てるのに寝てる夢見てたあの頃懐かしいな。はあ、大阪帰りたい。東京って地名とか駅名がいちいちビッグネームやねん。うわあ、聞いたことあるの連続や。はあ、炊飯器にご飯入れっぱなしやん。はあ、せや、連絡しとかな。もう寝てるやろな。
You gotta watch out for that. Leftover rice goes bad fast and can be dangerous.
あ、速攻既読なった。
Nice. Oh, she
もしも
called.
し、ごめん起こした？ちょっと待ってな。スピーカーにしていい？ごめんな。
Why, thank you.
もしもし？
なんでスピーカー？
炊飯器のご飯タッパーに詰めて冷凍せなあかんねん。明日の新幹線の時間も確認せなあかんし。
明日何？
明日青森で青森味噌カレー牛乳ラーメン食べるロケ。
いつ帰るの？
次の日の朝一。
明後日は？
ドラマの撮影。
Mm-hmm.
あ、ほら、ドレッドデカ。髪洗って待ってろってやつ。
いつ会えるの？
ごめんな。M1 の予選もあるから相方も怒ってんねん。
Got it.
ごめんなるいちゃん。ごめんって。
じゃあ、
Mo, little sad face. Perfect.
家でしょ？
What?
家やけど。
What?
怪しい。誰かいるの？
What?
わかったわかった。
Ooh.
ルイタン。
Oh my
バー
god.
バニャン。
Oh
ル
my
イ
god.
タン。
バーバニャン。
ルイルイルイルイルイルイルイルイルイルイルイタン。 深夜の酔い闇が忍び込むこの部屋に俺の声だけが唯一響き渡ったで。
ごめん、考え事してた。
一番やったらあかんやつ。このタイミングのそれはすっごい悪質なやつ。すっごい顔真っ赤っかになってる。大丈夫？
ごめん。
ルイちゃんたまに上の空になるけどなんか心配事？
Just the murders I've committed.
私、
どうした？
なんでもない。
なんどうしたん？なんでも言ってや。
さ、青森味噌カレー牛乳ラーメンって美味しいのかな？
I don't know.
それ美味しいんちゃうかな。
馬場さんはどんなラーメンが好き？
俺僕はトマト
I've never heard of tomato
Tomato.
ramen.
レー
gross.
ズンスペシャル太麺ラーメン。
What?
そういえばさ、この間ルイちゃんからもらったボールペン戻ってきたんやけど、
あ
どこから？
なんかタクシーの運転手が本社に預けてって、
Mm.
怖ない？他人にあげても戻ってくるやん。幸せのボールペンじゃなくて呪いのボールペンじゃん。
もう捨てれば？
それはなんか嫌なことが起きそ
じゃあ警察に届けるのは？落とし物って。
う。なるほど、それええな。
It's gonna end up with the diamonds. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, the whole conversation of like, can we do that, leading up to just calling each other Ruitan and Babadyan, super cute. Very funny, and the whole reaction to it as she spaces out, very interesting. And then her almost telling him something where she goes like, I murdered somebody, but she doesn't actually say it, so we don't know if it's true. I don't fucking know, man. And he's also just really fucking tired because he's tired, so fine. I don't know how much of this is super interesting or how much of it is like ultra relevant and whatnot, but there it is. I wanted to keep on the train of watching these and checking them out because I think they are interesting. They do add more to the story. So now that we've had the reveal of Ruitan and Baba Nyan being together, seeing or hearing them interact a little bit more is pretty cool. And we also see that Baba's crazy schedule is kind of hurting his relationship as well, right? So I don't know, man. Kind of suffering from success over there, are we? Interesting. All right, that'll be it there. I'll hand it back to 5-10 minutes ago me to wrap up the video. Peace. Really solid episode of Odd Taxi, as kind of expected. Some crazy shit going on, some cool ass music. I actually do want to go find the Cabaret OST song because I liked it a lot. Yeah, and also the track that plays after the gunshot goes off is fucking cool. So excellent, good episode. Odd Taxi keeps being awesome. That's it for this week. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Odd Taxi episode 6. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope to catch you next week for more. If you want the next week's reaction a little bit early, it'll be up on the Patreon, which you can find in the description. Other than that, I'll see you next time for more of this weird-ass show. Peace.